What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to be kind of going over two big things here, one of which is reviewing a new loop style band that might replace my previous favorite loop style band from Undersun Fitness. I'll explain why that is, but I'll talk about this band, I'll be reviewing this specific one. And then utilizing this band, I'm going to show you guys a few new loop style exercises that I've been kind of literally sitting on for a few months, and you'll kind of see why, pun intended here. Really great ones you actually can do, especially when you're traveling. You don't require any anchor point whatsoever. You can work your whole body. You can actually just do them like on a floor or something like that. Kind of like maybe it's like a bonus to kind of show these new exercises with this band. You actually can create a really good solid workout utilizing this, which I've actually personally used many times that I've gone on like vacation or travel with these things. Basically following the same sequence that these exercises are going to be laid out. Do from 10 to 20 repetitions and then repeat the sets or circuit as many times as you guys see fit. So a few things going on in this video. So I will put some timestamps in the video if you guys want to jump ahead to a section that pertains to you. And as always, I will link everything featured in this video, including this new loop style band and even these Bear Grip gloves. These are really good gloves. I've featured these before. People always ask about them whenever I wear them, but these are great gloves, especially for using resistance bands. I'll link these and everything featured in here in the description box if you guys do want to help me and support the channel. But as always, greatly appreciate it. Really easy to help me out is just like, share, subscribe to this video. Also consider checking out that join button if you guys do want to help support me as well on YouTube. All right, so those of you guys that watch my channel know I definitely use and have talked about resistance bands often, but my personal opinion, I think a total gym or Saudi Men's trainer is far more superior for at-home fitness. But again, that's just my personal opinion. I know a lot of you guys love them. I've certainly incorporated them, especially when I'm traveling. I attach them to my total gyms to add some external resistance. So these things are very versatile, awesome piece of equipment. Certainly take advantage of them. I've talked about tube style bands. I personally think the BodyLastic ones are the best. I will link some videos down below to check those out. Whenever I've talked loop style bands, I usually tend to recommend people to check out the Undersun Fitness Bands. Mine have been around for a bit. Done some reviews and talked about these very often. They've eventually kind of snapped over time. Aside from having great quality and good feel and tension, which I did like, I kind of thought they had a lifetime warranty, which they do not. So I was searching out for another loop style band that might be in the market that's easily accessible that you guys can kind of find on Amazon. Again, I'll link these down below, different sets. One that was a USA-based company, one that at least boasted to have really good high quality construction and was very durable, but also really important, I was trying to find one that actually had a lifetime warranty, and this company actually does. And that's kind of where I would justify paying a little bit more of a higher cost, especially from the USA-based company and customer service. But if they did break, if I can get a lifetime warranty out of these, that would be awesome, guys. I'm also keeping in the back of my head, like I've said many times, these things are not indestructible. These things will break. And unlike free weights, which I kind of got in this debate with other people who say, well, resistance bands are better because they're cheaper in free weights and you can do all these different things with them. I kind of say, well, the cost is really kind of relative. They're still not necessarily cheap in my opinion, but also the factor in that, again, they will break and they will lose some of their elasticity. So compared to free weights, they hold their integrity a lot longer. So I personally think even though resistance bands are cool and they're cheap and inexpensive, I don't necessarily think that they are always a huge budget-friendly item when it comes to home fitness when you kind of consider the long game here. I did reach out to this company and they were nice enough to send me this purple one. They could ask me any kind of size I wanted. I kind of opted for this one, which I personally think was a really good decision. I'll talk about that as we kind of go through this because this was a really good perfect tension. This is definitely just one particular size, at least for me, that I could just throw one band and probably be good with it. But even though I got this for free, with that being said, I know that as these other bands start breaking, I have a lot of here, you can see, and I actually have more in my basement, like my SunPow bands as well. I will definitely probably go ahead and pick up this company. Because at the end of the day, guys, I feel like these bands are kind of just what they say they are. Certainly there's better quality for sure. I'm not saying it's not a case. This one feels really good, it's really tense, but again, it's brand new. So again, I'm just kind of factoring the idea that I really want to pay for something that's at least boasts higher quality, is USA based, and like I said, has a lifetime warranty. So this is kind of few and far between of what you'd find in the loop style band department, especially one you could find on Amazon. All right, guys, so getting into these kind of workouts slash exercises featuring this RubberBandits band, like I kind of was saying, this is something that you don't need any kind of anchor point with. I've actually done this exact same workout or very similar exercises kind of strung together many months. I actually meant to kind of show you guys once when I was on vacation. I think it was during New Year's Eve actually. And just really like this. And again, I think all I would need is just this one. Certainly if you get different band sizes, different tensions, you can actually kind of fine tune this to you. This might require some flexibility. I understand that everybody's gonna be able to do all these exercises, but what I really like about these ground-based exercises, it's almost kind of when I was doing it, kind of felt like I was doing kind of like some floor-based kind of yoga with core work with some of these exercises. So I was doing strength training, felt like I was doing some flexibility training as well. Just really liked them. And again, I like the fact that I can do it on the ground. Now certainly incorporate some other stuff on top of this, some band squats, band deadlifts, standing curls, standing exercises, of course, but these are just ones I kind of started gravitating to and kind of stringing together when I was on the ground here. So let's jump into it. Starting with my favorite one first. I just call this a, I don't know, seated suspender butt incline press. But all you're gonna do is throw this band around you, put it under your butt, just kind of sit on it, and then obviously different band tension can help you kind of get into this position a little bit easier. But just like this, kind of seated like this, you could be up on your knees if you wanted to as well. But I'm just gonna press right through my chest. Now you can fine tune this a little bit to work for you, but it looks like this. Now that might look easy, but especially if you do a lot of sets and reps with this one, and if you pair it with other things, I just find it's a great superset exercise, but definitely if you're going, say, to like push-ups and you jump into this, it really fires up your chest. I feel it more like centralized. Upper part of my chest is really feel this. Definitely gonna feel it in your triceps as well, but I can't say enough about this. Whenever I got bands and I'm working out at home or traveling with something, I just go to town on this exercise. So try it for yourself. Certainly a great one to actually incorporate in your regular at-home workout. It's one of these things that kind of just don't think about unless I'm kind of traveling with it. And once you finish that up, this is, again, not the most creative thing in the world, but I just feel like it feels so good that I'm just surprised more people don't just do this with bands. But just simply a banded row. So depending on the tension you got, the way you can kind of loop it's all very different, but it's just like a seated row from your feet. Again, I'm sure a lot of people have done this. I'm not the first one to do this for sure, but I've tried all different types of angles. Oh, with this one, different grips. You certainly can grab a little bit lower. I'll do like mini extensions in a row. You can loop this probably like 10 different ways to get different degrees of tension and resistance. And then after you finish that up, just a lying on your back, shoulder press. Now you have to be careful that this band doesn't come off your feet, but what I like about this one is it takes a lot of pressure off your back. And I find a lot of people, when they do this standing banded press or any kind of standing band work, they say it aggravates their shoulders or their back. And then from here, same thing. Now you could do that lying down bicep curl on your back, but I just have found that doing this anchored position like we did in that row and doing a bicep curl just like this, where I kind of held my hands just like that. I wrap it around a few times, that works for you. And then even I kind of cup it in the inside. Whatever kind of wrap around and kind of grip you want, but I just find that this just feels really good. And I don't know why, it just feels better than doing the standing curls. Again, probably because I don't have that stress kind of going through my hips and lower back, but try it out. I think it feels really good. And I like a lot too, again, you can do it all different types of positions, but I'm just calling it a horse stance, kind of a glute press out and also a press. Now you can do it one of two ways. You actually could just get it where it's anchored on your foot here, not move your leg, and just kind of be in this kind of a side plank. There's all sorts of combinations of ways you can actually do this, guys. You can even just lie flush on your side. That actually feels even pretty good. But from here, just doing a press here, just a nice shoulder press. I don't know why this feels good. I think it just feels a little different, like you're holding this plank position. You can feel your core kind of working. And then certainly your glutes, if you want to do kind of a press on both sides. I just think this is a really good exercise that, especially when you get to like higher repetitions, like 10 to 20, you'll definitely start to feel this. This is just something else you can kind of get from this video. If you think of like different kind of yoga moves that are out there, think of ways of how you can incorporate the bands with some of these kind of floor-based yoga slash Pilates type exercises, and you can get really creative. But this is just one, just simply almost like in a stretch position. And what I like about this row, it's an anchor to my foot again, and I'm just gonna row here. What I like about it, it's got a nice stretch in my lats. It's a different angle, of course, but it feels really good. Now there's something about having this stretch here, I guess in my groin for lack of a better term, that just feels good. Like I'm getting this stretch. I could even do like a reach, come up and row if I wanted to, but I'm using a little bit of movement in my hips to kind of come back and finish that thrust into that row. This certainly is not original, but just the glute kickback with the loop style bands feels really good. Again, kind of like basically a continuation of what we just did in that horse stance. Press and kick back, but even with this one, you can vary the tension up a little bit depending how you want to hold it. And it just feels like another great solid glute exercise. I would even argue kind of a good leg exercise too if you're also just traveling with these things. All right, and then finally, we're just gonna do a tricep exercise. I'm not a big fan of like overhead tricep extensions. They kind of put stress on my elbow, unnecessary stress, and then shoulders. But for whatever reason, I kind of like this way this feels. Now this is kind of a moderate tension band here. If you want a lighter band, you could do a single arm, but with something like this, you're probably gonna need two hands. Again, you could go seated like we're in that suspender press. Otherwise, come up on your feet like this, and we can go from here. All right, guys, that is it. I had a great workout just messing around and showing you guys some exercises with these bands. Don't get me wrong though, as much as I kind of think bands are really cool, as I was doing this, I'm eyeing and being very tempted to kind of jump on these. I am probably going to finish up and do a couple more things in my total gym, which is hard not to resist. If you guys do not have these machines, and there's some of you guys out there who watch the channel do not have a total gym, get it yourself, a hold of one. I will link them down below. Obviously, pick up a used one, certainly awesome too. Any total gym, any sliding bench trainer is better than no sliding bench trainer. I can't say that enough. Bands are certainly awesome as well. Mix them together, you get the best of both worlds. If you guys got some good exercises with loop style bands, let me know. Put them down below in the comment section, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching.